With fewer babies dying in their cribs, infant mortality has dropped by almost 60%. The rising number of fatalities registered in the Child Mortality Register is mostly attributable to acts of domestic abuse. A recent analysis shows that during the late 1990s, infant mortality has decreased by about 60%, partly as a result of fewer infants dying in their beds. According to the National Paediatric Mortality Register 2023, however, the number of children murdered in murders and filicides is rising, with the majority of these fatalities being the result of violence inside the families itself. From 2019 to 2021, the infant mortality rate averaged 3.1 per 1,000 live births, which is comparable to the rest of the EU. About half of infants didn't make it beyond the first 28 days of life. The highest drop in mortality occurs among babies aged 29 days to 1 year, partly as a consequence of a lowering in cot deaths, sudden infant death syndrome. Interventions targeting maternal smoking and infant sleeping postures have contributed to a decline in sudden infant death syndrome mortality from 160 per year in the late 1980s to under 30 now. Since 2007, the number of deaths among children under the age of 18 has dropped by half. From various sources, the study compiles information on 892 children who passed away in the years 2019 to 2021. However, this is not the full picture, and there is currently very little accurate data available on the circumstances and reasons for mortality in children, particularly after the age of 5 years, on how many children die in any given year, where they die, and from what causes, states the National Office of Clinical Audit, NOCA. After the first year, accidental injuries are the leading cause of mortality among children, 1/5, and adolescents, 15/25, in the United States. 24% of the fatalities that occurred between the ages of 1 and 14 were the result of automobile accidents. However, in only 10 years, the number of teen traffic fatalities has dropped by half. Fatalities in this age range due to injuries were 1 in 5. However, this is likely an underestimation since many of these fatalities were the consequence of murder or filicide. Professor Michael Barrett, head of the Register's Governance Committee, argues that there is an immediate need for a centralized database on child mortality to better identify and manage the variables leading to fatalities. Acceptable information on child fatalities in Ireland may serve as a guide to a safer future, a comfort to grieving families, and an honor to those we have missed. Knowing the many causes of child mortality such as accidents, birth defects, and malignancies will help us provide better care and resources for the most vulnerable children. According to NOCA, many child fatalities are avoidable, thus it is crucial to determine what causes them and then implement appropriate countermeasures. According to the research, 11% of live births in Ireland during the 1920s resulted in death before the age of 1. The research notes that although child mortality has decreased by 50% since 2007, numerous preventable deaths still occur across all age groups.